G'day and welcome to the Grow a Small Business Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Truen. Each week, we speak with an owner who has grown a business with 5 to 30 team members to something bigger. Diving into their numbers and unearthing the pain they've experienced, we explore what they did to overcome each barrier and what they would do differently from day one. Let's get into it. Welcome, everyone. Today I'm interviewing Alejandra Santos from startup Tandem, based in Los Angeles, United States. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you so much for having me, Troy. Excited to be here.
Let's start with how we know each other. Steve from KitCaster has sent us a few great guests and he put us in touch.
Yes, great people.
Tell our audience a bit about your business, what it does and how it makes money.
Yes, so I basically help entrepreneurs from like the start to finish. We help them incorporate their business. It could be either an LLC, a C Corp, an S Corp. We help them as well through managing operations. It could be anything, setting up financial metrics like a fractional CFO kind of a thing. We also help them with the accounting, which is like day-to-day activities. And as they grow, we support them with HR and payroll as they grow their team, especially in America because HR is so important, and as well with the taxes. So we provide a big scope of services. It initially started it with just the finance piece about 3 years ago, and it just kind of like escalated into other services because of client demand. And now we're growing the services in many different times, honestly, because the taxes are very busy during the tax season. And then obviously the other side of the services are just busy, the need comes. So yeah, that's basically what I do. Do
you focus on any particular states in the US? Because obviously it's very different, not just from a tax point of view, but also the HR regulations.
No, we actually have clients everywhere, and not only in the United States, but also from other countries. We have clients from Spain. We have clients from Mexico. It really doesn't, we're very well versed in all kinds of like multi-state compliance. So we have no problem there. And actually, as the client comes in board, if we don't have any knowledge of that, then we become very knowledgeable, obviously, on that state. Every state has a lot of reciprocity, I would say, and a lot of many different issues. But yeah, there's always a few, especially California and New York are the biggest states that have more regulations. If we nail California and New York, every other state will be fine.
And how did you start out?
Well, I've been doing this has been my field for about 16 years now. Graduated college in finance, and then I did a few of accounting jobs, and kind of like I ended up in the entrepreneurship world about 8 years ago, catering to clients that were entrepreneurs and building their own businesses. I decided to start my company right after working for a consulting company that provides kind of the same, but not really the same anymore, of services. And that's where I kind of got my idea of like, I really want to do this on my own because I want to set the rules on my own, because this industry, although it's very regulated, it's really not regulated at all. There's a lot of room for consultants companies to do a job really bad done, and then people have to deal with the headache of not really understanding what they're being charged for or like what the financials are. I mean, we get clients all the time that their financials are a mess and they paid so much money to other companies. So I kind of wanted to set a standard of ethical and value proposition like to clients, and that's basically what we stand for, providing valuable services that are transparent in fees and transparent on what we do in comparison to others.
And you started in 2020?
So I started it at the end of 2020, yes. And then now we are here. Yeah, 2023.
And how old were you when you decided to start your own business 3 years ago?
I don't like to disclose my age so much like that, but I'm going to say that I am above 35.
Do you have some key numbers you can share to illustrate the growth of the business?
The business has been growing steadily for between 25% year-over-year revenue growth. I would say a healthy business, because I see businesses all the time, a healthy business that grows organically, it's along that range. Now, if you grow a business based on debt or equity funding, then that's a different revenue growth, as it could be in a revenue growth, right? So it just really depends on how you use those funds. But yeah, that's a revenue growth for us.
And what about number of full-time equivalent team members you're at now? And I'm guessing you started on your own?
Yeah, so I started this on my own. I was very fortunate enough to have a few team members from my other companies before to come with me. If full-time employees really varies by season, like I said, because tax season is really busy for us. So we have more on the seasonality. But right now, it currently is 6 people on board that are full-time. And then we have about 4 to 5 part-timers.
When was the moment you felt like you had succeeded?
Well, I gotta remind myself every day about success, because it is something that meet another milestone. So it feels like success is never achievable. But yes, I have succeeded in many different ways just by figuring it out day over day and by making a good team that understands that they can handle their own. I mean, I'm still working on success, right? For me, success looks like financial freedom. Everybody has a different way of defining success. For me, it's financial freedom. It doesn't mean I have to be the most rich person in the world. It means just that I can work from wherever I want and stress myself about little things.
Number one thing you'd recommend to marketing a fast growing business?
I would say own your marketing yourself as a business owner. I have outsourced marketing many, many times, but I am taking it on my own. And it's been a great learning experience because I understand more on how my customer behaves and what they really want and what really is enticing to them on the eye level. So I would just say, just do it yourself, and everything that people always told me SEO doesn't work. SEO, well, it does work. Put marketing dollars in SEO. It's a very tricky game because you will not see a return until probably a year later, but it does work. It's there. When you're starting a business, I think your main goal should be to establish an online presence. Being an online presence takes time and a lot of money, you could say, because SEO is expensive, but that's where you want to be.
And how did you fund the business?
So the business has been self-funded by myself since that day one. There's really no external funding from any financial institution or any investor. It's just myself right now. Not saying that it's going to be myself forever. I would like to really bring on board a few key partners in the near future that can help me scale my business. But as of now, it's just bootstrap.
If you were to start up today with plenty of funding, would you go into your industry?
Yes, because that's my skill set, definitely. However, I do like e-commerce. I love e-commerce. I love selling products online. I love makeup and skincare and beauty. So maybe if I had capital enough or maybe just a formulation, I could probably go into skincare. That's something that I have clients in the space. I love the margins. Margins are really healthy, and it's all about branding and marketing, to be quite honest. So that would be my second choice.
Can you outline the most stressful point in your small business growth journey so our audience can learn from it?
Stressful here, I don't know in Australia what it is, but in here would be basically human capital. I think that finding great, talented people that like to do their job well, that own up to their job is really, really hard. Maybe it's hard everywhere, but here is hardest now with everything that has happened with the great resignation and like economy. So that has been stressful for me because we do service clients, right? And as we service more, we need to employ more people. So getting the right candidate in front and in the company, it has been hard.
What area in business do you feel you've had to work on the most to add the greatest value?
Oh, taxes for sure. I mean, I was not versed in taxes at all, but now I am. So after studying so much the tax law and my business is doing taxes, I have to know what I'm doing. That has been one of the most challenging parts of my business because I do have the finance, the accounting side nailed down. It's really easy for me to understand and speak to it, but the tax law, studying all those curriculums and getting certifications, yeah, that has been challenging.
What have you enjoyed the least about managing fast growth?
Well, I mean, as you grow, there's a lot of growing pains. So just managing those growing pains to the best of the ability. Obviously, my goal is as we grow, I want to feel that success. I want to feel happy that we're getting there, but making sure that the stress is not getting to me because there is a lot of long days in my week and weekends too.
What do you love most about growing a small business?
I honestly love making its business, right? Like seeing how it grows, building it with a great infrastructure from the very beginning. That I'm very passionate about that, setting up those financial metrics. And that's what I do with my clients. A lot of my clients are startups or small business owners and talking about the future with them and creating growth plans and growth plans for myself as well and seeing how we get there. That's really exciting.
Be the change you want to see in your business. Become more productive and less stressed with our free Transform Your Performance online course. Once you see the benefits, put your entire team through the course at no cost. We start out by telling you the secret to guaranteed success, then over 100 lessons help you be more focused, present, productive, and feel more in control about work. growasmallbusiness.com. What has been the biggest mindset shift for you in your small business growth journey?
That is a packed question because I feel like I've grown the most over the last 3 years. I've grown the most. I have more soft skills now. I've learned more about people characters. rather than when I was an employee. You're kind of like in one area, just in a cubicle, I would say. But when you're out there meeting people, talking to different personalities, trying to bring more business into the business, there is so much that goes into that I've learned how to be patient, how to have a positive mindset. Most of all, I've always been positive, but like really explore that positivity in your mind. It's really important. So it's a very packed question. I think I've learned a lot over the last few years.
The number one habit you think a small business owner needs to develop and maintain?
I would definitely say consistency and work ethic is really important. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and this is why the reason why I became my own boss as well, because I've seen those entrepreneurs that work from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. at 12 a.m. and they do really good, or those entrepreneurs that really just put the 6, 8 hours a day. And your business really will, whatever you put into it, you will get out. That's basically how the equation is when you're a business owner, when you have your own business, is whatever you put in, you will get out. So I would say consistency and work ethic, it's the most important thing.
Can you talk to how you've added people to the team, some wins, mistakes, and advice for those listening?
Yeah, I have teams everywhere, right? Like I have teams in the accounting side, in the tax side, I have teams for different kind of to all the services. I mean, mistakes are always gonna happen. That's just the name of the game, especially when we're working with so many different accounts. But I feel like the wins have been like creating a good project management flow internally within the company has helped us really make sure that we minimize those mistakes and make sure that if we do make them, we catch them on time rather than sending out the end product. So that has been the project management piece has been very important within our organization to manage all those teams and to make sure that everybody is meeting their deadlines on time, or if there's any specific needs that need to be catered to them in order to minimize those mistakes.
What are some things you recommend to building a sustainable and kick-ass culture to help with the growth?
There's so many things. It honestly comes down to what the culture is that you want to build. If you want it to be a culture, an energetic culture where everybody collaborates, then I would say start making a lot of events that people can come together and enjoy each other's company. We have done that in the past where we met once a month and we did like some really, really cool events. We went to like Magic Castle. We went bringing the team together to enjoy each other's company, and it makes a big difference. But also, I would say that what has helped us in my company is creating that remote organization. I know a lot of people out there are really against it and they have their own opinion on performance when it's remote. And yes, everything has a downfall, right? Up and down. Everything has a cost and benefit. So for me, the benefit is that I am able to hire really good talent just because we are remote and we're able to keep them because that is the benefit that everybody wants to have.
Tell our audience how you've handled balance.
Well, I do have boundaries. I definitely put boundaries for myself. There's going to be a few weeks, like for example, this week that has been crazy, where I work all the way till like 10, 11 p.m. just because I have so many things that need to target. But there's other weeks that they're easier. And sometimes I like to take a day off in the middle of the week just to unwind. And it could be like to either go to a pool or enjoy the nice weather, anything that's going on out there, just because for sanity reasons, I need that break, or go on a trip, maybe take a few days out of the week and go on a trip. Those are the things that I like to do on a day-to-day basis. Though I work out a lot and I work out in nature a lot.
How much professional development have you invested in yourself?
Oh, I'm always investing in myself. I feel like it's a never ending game. Once you own your own business, I feel like the race is on. There's always going to be somebody that's more prepared than you out there. So you need to make sure that you are, like what I said before for taxes, right? Like I had to put myself through all these courses and all this education just because that was not my forte back in the day. And now it is. It's becoming a forte of mine. So a lot, and it will continue because I do have more goals. So it will continue to become, I'll probably be studying for another 10 more years.
Yeah. Have you had mentors or coaches along the way?
Yes, so I've been very lucky to have a few professors of my MBA program that mentor me and coach me, and also people in the industry that coach me as well. And we're very industry agnostic, but when I say industry, people from like the CPG industry that come to me when they see what I'm doing, they like what I'm doing, so they provide me with a lot of advice, and I have somebody to ask for help, or when my clients need something, then I can rely on them. So yeah, definitely mentors in my way.
Do you have a board of directors or advisors?
Not right now. Have not declared anybody in the board yet. Not to say that I won't do it in the future. I do have some people in mind, but right now we're focusing on growth and we're not there yet.
All right, we're on to our final 5 questions. What do you think is the hardest thing in growing a small business?
I would say starting up is the hardest part because you have to mentally be prepared for the what's coming, which is a lot of ups and downs. You don't go up in a straight line. You kind of like do a zigzag all the way up. And that's what the journey is. And you just have to be prepared for that mentally, that you're gonna be okay. You're gonna figure it out. But in terms of like business wise, the hardest thing is really finding out what your customer wants and how to cater to that because customers keep evolving, obviously, right? So you kind of have to know, and this is the reason why we have so many services because customers, they change, they want this, they want that, and you kind of have to know how to target each customer the right way. That is definitely the hardest part of the business is meeting your customer demand.
Favorite business book which has helped you the most?
I read a lot of business books, but it's mainly about, and nothing comes to my mind right now in terms of a name, but like I read a lot about financial advice and CFO, but I also do read a lot about positivity and I am very much into that spirituality world just because it really makes me grounded. I know that this sounds like bougie things, LA thing, la la la, but no, it's not. It's basically when I feel good about myself and mindset and all of that, then everything else will fall into place. So yeah, in books wise, I cannot tell you exactly what's my favorite one.
Any great podcasts or online learning tools used for your own professional development?
In terms of podcasts, I listen to Tony Robbins. Obviously, it's a great one. Then I listen to the Goldman Sachs one. Sometimes they do some really nice financial reports in there. And then I listen to bougie things, LA thing, la la la. But no, it's not. It's basically when I feel good about myself and mindset and all of that, then everything else will fall into place. So yeah, in books wise, I cannot tell you exactly what's my favorite one.
Any great podcasts or online learning tools used for your own professional development?
In terms of podcasts, I listen to Tony Robbins. Obviously, it's a great one. Then I listen to the Goldman Sachs one. Sometimes they do some really nice financial reports in there. And then I listen to if Earn Your Happy and like some other fun podcasts. In terms of learning tools for professional development, I'm always studying. So I don't know if that's a learning tool.
One tool you'd recommend to help grow a small business?
So many. So just from the beginning, like setting up that infrastructure is so important and people don't really think about it. One thing I would say is like just as you start your own business, just make sure you have at least a folder with everything organized, as simple as it is, because believe it or not, people do not do that. Make sure that you have, as you grow a business, have a great payable system and a way of collecting people's money as well. Make sure that you have very simple things, right? Like make sure that you're tracking, like if you have a marketing, make sure you have a good CRM system, make sure you have a good call-in system as you grow your business. I mean, a little of small softwares out there will get you a lot of longevity in your success.
Finally, my favorite question. What would you tell yourself on day one of starting out 3 years ago?
I would have said to myself, why didn't you do this earlier? And I say that to myself every day, actually, because I think I would have starting earlier is always best, I think, when you're like one of the first people in the game. But at the same time, things happen at the right time. So, but that would be one thing I would say myself.
Great. Well, thanks very much for your time today. Really enjoyed our chat. You've grown 20 to 25% per annum since starting in 2020. Congratulations on the growth. Around 6 full-time team members now. And sounds like you've got quite big growth ambitions coming.
Yes, no, thank you, Troy. I appreciate you having me.
That's it. Thanks for listening. Please leave a review in iTunes or whatever platform you listen to us on. It means more small business owners will find our cast and help people with their business growth journey.